to stop. What you're doing, it's 8 o'clock. Friday night pizza show is on tap. LFS6B is where it's at. Whoa, oh. America's Voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS6B. Yeah, yeah, LFS6B. Slick does sports and dresses to the nines. Big D loves when he says it's rodeo time. Delgado might wear the tinfoil hat, but we all love, what even is that? Aaron and Fran always holding it down. We look forward to another crazy town. Kevin Downey Jr. fills another seat. His sharp wit and wisdom can't be beat. America's Voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS6B. Yeah, LFS6B. Big D looking good in his cowboy hat, always intrigued what David Sears at. Our main man Harry is certainly no slouch.
Harry,
come on, Harry,
get the ass out of the couch.
America's Voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS6B. Ooh yeah, LFS6B. If you want some fun along with good insight, tune in 8 to 10 weeknights. Plenty of merchandise to be had. The odds makers reveal whose picks are bad. Hello, America's Voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS6B. Yeah, yeah, LFS6B.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, October 25th. A couple minutes past the hours of 8. We are live on socials. We are not on Real America's Voice tonight, which we did not realize we were not going to be on. Grant Stinchfield's taking you through rally coverage into President Trump. Well, maybe we'd join them at some point. I'm not sure. But we're live here on socials. Slick's here. I was going to try to do some sports. Delgado's here. We got some news. Big news night tonight.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of big news going on, obviously, with Israel tonight and Iran. We'll get into some of that as well. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Whatever platform you're on, Facebook, YouTube, X, Rumble, Getter, wherever you're watching us, make sure you hit the like and subscribe, share, comment. We appreciate it. Slick, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
Very good. Delgado, how are you?
I am good.
Pizza Friday.
Pizza Friday.
A serious Pizza Friday, but still Pizza Friday here.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yes, nonetheless, it is Pizza Friday. So I want to welcome everybody in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names. A lot of you I saw this morning as well. Sergeant Arby, Moon Pie on YouTube, John Phillips on Facebook, Amos Rogers on Facebook, Cassie Hatfield on YouTube, Gabby on Facebook, Irene on Facebook, Noran and Bill Wamister on Facebook. Hello to both of you. Welcome on in, everybody. Glad you're here. So we start tonight, obviously, with what's going on in Israel, and more importantly, what's going on in Iran, as Israel has undertaken strikes.
You could say that again.
In response to months of continuous attacks from the regime in Iran. And tonight we have Biden sitting on the tarmac. As far as I know, we have Biden sitting on the tarmac tonight in Philadelphia on his way to vacation in Delaware. And we have Kamala Harris in Houston partying it up with Beyonce and Willie Nelson, smoking dope or whatever they're doing with Willie.
All of the above.
As old Toby Keith used to tell us.
Are they smoking it
I'll
or
never
just
never smoke weed with Willie again.
Is she smoking it or just being it?
Well, I don't know. I think she's on crack, so at least she talks like it. But I don't know. And you just have to wonder, I don't know who the hell's running the country or who's. I mean, what's going on?
Well,
Are we just basically we're just like the rest of the world? Now it's just like I mean,
yeah, it's like
you're on your own, everybody.
the administration is like it's a cartoon where they're just like putting their fingers in the air, like waiting for the TNT to go off. That's pretty much where we're at with these two, and basically the entire administration. I don't think they really care what happens. I think they see the writing on the wall. It's like, I guess we're going to be out soon. We might as well just go enjoy ourselves. You go on vacation. I'll go to Houston and hang out with Beyonce, and that'll be that.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, what's the latest news, Delgado, that we have right now?
According to this, I'm getting this from Fox News. Israel began the retaliatory strikes against Iran following the missile barrage that targeted Israelis last month, or earlier this month, I should say. They launched a wave of retaliatory airstrikes against Iran after the Islamic Republic bombed them earlier this month. Explosions were heard near Iran's capital of Tehran and nearby Karaj, according to Reuters, citing local media. In response to months of continuous attacks from the regime in Iran against the state of Israel, right now the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, are conducting precise strikes on military targets in Iran. The Israel Defense Forces said in a statement, the regime in Iran, I said it twice, and its proxies in the region have been relentlessly attacking Israel since October 7th on 7 fronts, including direct attacks from Iranian soil. Like every other sovereign country in the world, the state of Israel has the right and the duty to respond. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are fully mobilized. We will do whatever is necessary to defend the state of Israel and the people of Israel. The Israeli military action comes after Defense Minister Gallant vowed a precise and deadly response to the more than 180 missiles Iran targeted Israel with on October the 1st, most of which were intercepted, and some intercepted with the help of the U.S. So there you have it. At least the beginning of what seems to be the retaliatory strikes coming from Israel towards Iran. Is this the appetizer to World War III? Oh, I don't know, but it could be, depending on how this whole thing pans out. And remember, just last week, the U.S. was charged with revealing the attack plan from Israel against Iran. Now I'm wondering, is this what they revealed? Because I didn't see what was revealed as to what the game plan was from Israel towards Iran. I wonder if this looks like it, or was it something where, you know what, we know they're going to leak it, so let's give them some BS, let them leak that, we'll know where it came from, and then we'll hit them from where they don't expect us to come. So I don't know. Hopefully somebody else, somebody smarter than me has figured that part out.
Here is, if we can throw this up, Aaron, here is the video put out by the IDF, short video announcing the beginnings of this.
In response to months of continuous attacks from the regime in Iran against the state of Israel, right now, the Israel Defense Forces is conducting precise strikes on military targets in Iran. The regime in Iran and its proxies in the region have been relentlessly attacking Israel since October 7th on 7 fronts, including direct attacks from Iranian soil. Like every other sovereign country in the world, the state of Israel has the right and the duty to respond. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are fully mobilized. We will do whatever necessary to defend the state of Israel and the people of Israel. In response to months of continuous attacks from the regime in Iran against the state of Israel, right now, the Israel Defense Forces is conducting precise strikes on military targets in Iran. The regime in Iran and its proxies in the region have been relentlessly attacking Israel since October 7th on 7 fronts, including direct attacks from Iranian soil. Like every other sovereign country in the world, the state of Israel has the right and the duty to respond. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are fully mobilized. We will do whatever necessary to defend the state of Israel and the people of Israel.
All right, there you have it. Bada boom, bada bing, as they say. I guess, from the IDF, the leader of the IDF, I think I quoted his name, Gallant. I believe that's he's the guy in charge over there, or at least, making that statement. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said the barrage of missiles it fired at Israel on October 1st was actually retaliation for the killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah in Beirut, in Lebanon, in an Israeli airstrike, and killing of Hamas political chief in Tehran in July. So their claim was, well, we just bombed you because you killed two people we like. I don't know if that's the route to go, but this is you made your bed now, Iran. Now you're gonna, I guess, have to deal with it.
And some of the early reporting online is that there's a lot of it, and who knows if it's true. We have to wait and see. But there's some reporting of B-2 bombers. There's reporting of nuclear power plant in Karachi. I don't know if that's pronounced right. Karachi was targeted by the Israeli Air Force. And as you said, when I said they're responding tonight, you said, "Oh, are they ever?" Some of the pictures, the early pictures that are coming out, look like this could be a wide-ranging, not just targeted. It could be outwards of Damascus as well, from some of the early reporting. Aaron, if you want to throw up my screen.
So I guess this is like the official start of a regional war, basically. Is that what we're seeing?
There you see some of it right there. This is some of the reports coming out tonight.
Wow.
And I saw someone talk about, well, what took Israel so long? And of course, they're certainly, when their plans are getting leaked, they're certainly not getting much. If it was up to Biden and Kamala, we wouldn't even have found this slime ball a couple weeks ago, because he went to Rafah, exactly where both of them said no, Israel should stay out of. So again, who exactly knows? I'm sure the U.S. knew this was going to happen, I would assume. Of course, I saw a statement tonight that Biden said he doesn't want Israel targeting Iran's nuclear facilities, but he vows that the U.S. will never let Iran get a nuclear weapon. What? How do you juxtapose those two positions? And now, of course, the interesting thing is, how politically does this come? Does this reach back to American shores politically? 11 days out from the election.
Yeah. Talk about an October surprise.
And who does it affect? I can't imagine this could look good for Kamala Harris.
Now, I don't know if this is true. I'm going to try and search it out, but this is breaking on the Alert Channel, saying that NATO has announced in the event of a war between Iran and Israel, it will support Israel. And any nation that intervenes on behalf of Iran will be considered an enemy of the West. I don't know if that's true. I'm going to search it out, see if I can find more on this. But that would seem to fit with, hey, this whole idea of, as we've talked about, and I know I'm pretty much out there, that this is what they want. They want World War III. They want this kind of stuff. I mean the people, the shadow governments that run everything. They're looking forward to this. So I don't know if it's true. I'm gonna check some more, see what I can find on this.
All right, I'm trying to arrange. I think we're going to join the network's coverage in the rally, so I'm just talking to them here in a second. So, Slick, what's going on in sports?
Well, a lot. We got the World Series just underway, big time, big in Los Angeles, Chavez Ravine. There we go, Dodgers Stadium. No score. Bottom of the first, top of the first, I should say. Yankees have a man on first with 2 out, and Stanton is up. Carlos Stanton is up at the plate. So we'll see. Like I said, Game 1 will keep you on tap with that. First pitch was 8:08 p.m. We had the odds makers tonight. If we can get that in, Big D, we want to make sure we can run our odds makers. Aaron and I are ready with our picks. Not sure on the guest. Kind of a up in the air night. So we
I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll try to get in as much sports and news as we can and monitor what's going on in the world. I'm talking to Real America's Voice right now to see if we can get in on the rally coverage. President Trump seemingly today is leaving Austin, Texas, extremely late. And we were streaming him this afternoon as he met with Border Patrol and talk about migrant crime, and he went to Austin, Texas, and of course Kamala was in Texas as well today, and then he was supposed to be in Michigan for this coverage at 7:30. I guess he's supposed to speak at 7:30, and now it looks like he literally just left Austin, Texas, for whatever the reason.
Wow, that's late.
So I don't think the president we're going to see in Michigan for quite some time. And as he says, it's a complicated business, so this is the way things go. And of course, on a night where obviously the world devolves into even more chaos, and just to get back to what I was saying before, how this comes back to this shore 11 days out from the election. And it's hard not to think about the state of the Middle East when President Trump left. The Abraham Accords, the relationship that the U.S. held with Israel, and now to think about October 7th, 2023, and now a year removed from then, and what the world looks like there now.
Yeah.
With an administration that has not only sided with the enemy here, but flushed it with cash. Of course, we all remember Obama flying pallets of cash in there. And Biden and Harris, of course, theoretically have really done the same thing, not flying it in by plane, but just by not enforcing sanctions, letting them sell oil to our enemies. They've funded them. They have funded all of this.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing that we went from peace across the region to now we're on the verge of basically World War III in that region, because it's just gonna escalate from there. I mean, let's hope it doesn't, but the potential, it's easy to see how it could escalate from there. And unfortunately, when you got a turd bag for brains in the White House, followed by flat face next to him, hanging out with celebrities because she needs to study for everything she does in her life because she doesn't know anything. She's too stupid. This is what we're dealt with. You got a bunch of people who are ideologues who are in their administration pushing all the things that none of the American people wanted, none of us voted for. We said, we don't want to go to war. Who wants to go to war? The military-industrial complex wants to go to war, and they know it's going to be very profitable. They had almost 4 years of no war, and their bank accounts got a little dry.
Yeah, we're going to drum up business.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just idiotic what we're seeing.
Crazy.
But and you still got these hardcore leftists on the left who are like, oh my God, I can't deal with Trump. He's such a bad person. Bad person. Look at what we're dealing with now. Look at how it's going to affect your life. They'd much rather just believe what they've been told because their confirmation bias just keeps being coddled with, oh my God, you must hate this man, you must hate him, because up until 2015 he was just one of us, but once he decided he was going to run for president, oh my goodness, as someone from the other party, now he's Hitler. He's been Hitler for 8 years. Hasn't been responsible for any genocide except for watching people flee from the Democratic Party because they see what the lunatic liberals are really all about. If anything, he's just exposed them, and they can't take it. And I'm glad he did it, and I'm glad they're being exposed, and I'm glad more of them are going to be exposed, and I can't wait till they go down in flames. And I don't know where to go from here. I'd like some pizza, damn it.
The other thing, you can go get pizza. This is not a formal show here tonight.
Show. Have your pizza.
You have to wonder if Israel is going to be able to accomplish what they need to accomplish here, or if their hands are completely tied from Biden and Harris, and the lack of support, and really Biden and Harris at all corners trying to stand in their way.
I think they're going to be able to do whatever the heck they want because Biden and Harris are weak across the board. They don't. Nobody listens to them, and I'm glad that Israel is not listening to them. It just kind of go pound sand. We don't care what you think because they said, if you go into what was the place they didn't want them to go to, where they just
Rafah, yeah.
Rafah. Oh, if you go into Rafah, there's going to be problems. Well, they went into Rafah.
Yeah, it does seem like Netanyahu's flipping them flipping them the proverbial bird.
Can't blame him.
He's basically
telling them he's number one.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, you're number one in our book, Joe.
Number one, pal. With a reverse.
You're number one in our book.
He's telling them to go pound sand.
Yeah.
While you're at the beach.
Well, let's see if we can get some. You know what? I'll bet there's live. Let's see if we can get some live footage up here. I'll bet there's live footage out there right now.
I'm seeing a lot of video on X. I haven't been able to find anything on that NATO thing, so it could be BS.
Let's see.
Especially with Turkey involved. Turkey stands against Israel at every turn. So
let's see what we can find here. If there's any live footage. If you're on socials, welcome on in. We are not on the network. We are just hanging out with you here tonight. We're going to join the network here in a little bit. Here you go, Aaron. If you want to throw this up right now for a little bit. Here's some... this is live right now. Is there sound on this? No. There's a little bit of sound. And as you can see, it says unverified footage, so...
Yeah, it's tough. Everything's breaking right now.
What's going on in the chat, everybody? Welcome on in.
In response to months of continuous attacks from the regime in Iran against the State of Israel, right now, the Israel Defense Forces is conducting precise strikes on military targets in Iran. The regime in Iran and its proxies in the region have been relentlessly attacking Israel since October 7th on 7 fronts, including direct attacks from Iranian soil. Like every other sovereign country in the world, the State of Israel has the right and the duty to respond. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are fully mobilized. We will do whatever necessary to defend the State of Israel and the people of Israel.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so we'll keep an eye on this, obviously.
Man.
The other big news of the day is that Trump did Rogan.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was big news.
there's a little clip of them on TikTok here. It's about 9 seconds long.
How did that go?
Has there been any word about how it went?
Not that I've heard of. It says 3-hour podcast, though.
Did they do 3 hours?
Joe Rogan records a TikTok with Trump after a 3-hour podcast. Biggest
Oh, look at
episode.
this.
3 hours.
I just found it.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Did it.
Hello,
Yeah, there it is.
world. Hello, world. We just wrapped up a great podcast.
We had a good time. I think you'll find it very interesting and enjoy it.
Hello, world.
I guess it went well. I guess that tells you that much.
Yeah.
I mean, he's made for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so, I mean, again,
Absolutely.
I mean, Rogan is very good at asking questions that he really has true interest in and then getting out of the way and following up. And Trump is made to sit down and talk to somebody like Joe Rogan. He's smart. He's actually wants to know. He wants to actually, whatever he asks you, he has a real interest in. He's not trying to prove how smart he is. Mm-hmm. He's not trying to prove and get to his agenda. He's legitimately trying to call balls and strikes. And there's going to be things I'm sure he agreed with Trump, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that they don't agree on that he probably talked about, I would think. And having not seen it, I would think Joe pushed back, in the way that he does, follow-ups. Yeah, but don't you think? And, things like that.
Right.
He's not trying to be 60 Minutes, or who would? He's not trying to be, and again, he's not trying to prove how smart he is. So I'll bet it's great.
Wow, 3 hours. He did the whole run. We were wondering last night if he'd make it. Is that why he's delayed, possibly? Why he's
Definitely.
His delayed flight to Michigan? Yeah. Good for him. Well, that was very important.
Oh yeah, I guess if he did Rogan after he did the stop, I mean maybe that's why he's delayed. I thought he did Rogan this morning, and then he stopped and did the thing he did with the border today, and then I thought he would be on his way.
No, he did that after. Yeah.
Oh, so he did Rogan afterwards.
Right. That explains a lot.
Dan Scavino Jr. just put out about 47 minutes ago. DJT Rogan, 3 hours.
Oof.
It goes live tomorrow at noon Eastern.
Wow.
There you have it.
Oh my God! What's the
The viewage going to be? It's probably going to break the. What is he on Spotify?
Tucker. You think it'll break Tucker's?
It might.
At this point, yeah, because it's so close to the election.
Well, no, there's got to be a video portion to it too, right?
Yeah,
On YouTube.
right?
Yeah. Wow. I had a feeling he'd go 3 hours.
Oh man, what the numbers will be on that?
Must see TV or must see podcast.
Yeah. All right, let me go see what we're gonna join. Can you talk to me now, Aaron? Are we going to join Real America's Voice?
Sure. It's early.
And we're joining Grant if we join. Okay, we're going to join Grant Stinchfield. Okay, and do we know what we know? Are we talking about what's going on in the world, or we're talking about? Oh, because he's going to be so late. Okay. Yeah. Yep. 2. Yep.
Nope, not at all.
Hey, Damon, you there?
Yeah, what's up, bud?
Hijacking your show again, buddy. Sorry about that.
No problem. We were doing live on socials either way, so we didn't even know we weren't we didn't even know we weren't live until we got here. So whatever, no big deal.
All right. What is this? Hold on.
What are we talking about?
Everyone prepare to be on camera. They're going to come to you.
Okay.
Saw that too.
We have creamer.
Oh, you have some left. I was on the road.
This is our special coverage of President Trump's rally in Traverse City, Michigan. President Trump just announced he's going to be about 2 hours late, about an hour and a half out now from the rally. And it's cold out there. But if anybody's going to stick around for anybody, it would be President Trump's supporters sticking around for President Trump. So as you know, during this time, you'd normally see the guys at Studio 6B. We've hijacked their time, but we don't want to do that anymore. We want to bring them in to the program. I want to welcome Damon Roberts, Rick Delgado, and Slick Rick to the program. Rick Squared, Damon, great to see you guys.
Grant, how are you? It's a busy Friday night, a lot of news. What's going on? I don't know who's run. Do we know who's running the country over here? Biden's on the tarmac in Philly, going to Delaware to lay on the beach, I guess, again. And Kamala's down partying with Beyonce while the world's falling apart. What the hell's going on around here?
I mean, I will tell you right now, I don't know who's in charge. And, you know, we were talking earlier. Does Joe Biden come out and make a statement about the attack in Israel, the attack of Israel going after Iran? There's no way it's past his bedtime. You guys are laughing.
Does Joe Biden even know that this has happened tonight? I would put the over-under on that at about 50%, that he doesn't even know.
Yeah. What are you guys thinking now? We're 11 days out. How are you feeling? This is the one question I get all the time. Can we win? Will they cheat? Are they going to be? And I say, yes, we can win. Yes, they will cheat. But I feel good. Where are you guys at with all of this?
I mean, I'll go first. I mean, I agree with the first two, yes and yes. Yes, we can win, and yes, they'll cheat. You know, I've been saying all along, I'm trying not to get ahead of over my skis or get ahead of myself on all this, Grant. But obviously, you look at where the polls are. To me, one of the things that's really stuck out to me is looking at the kind of like this day in history where you are, because obviously those numbers are real numbers. You can go back and look at that's what they were on those days. Now, you can go back and say, well, how they got to those numbers back then, I question. Okay, fine. But that's where they were. And you look at where Biden was in 20, you look at where Clinton was in 16, in a lot of these states, and you look at where Trump is today, it's hard to argue, with the momentum that he has. You look at what she's doing on her schedule. I mean, if you got in a room with her and her team and they said, okay, what can we do to make sure the least number of people see it? They would say, well, how about 9:30 on a Friday night? You go down to Texas and you do smoke some dope with Willie Nelson and do a concert with Beyonce. 9:30 up against Game 1 of the World Series tonight. I think the first thing she did today was like 3, 4 o'clock. So, I mean, I can't understand the decisions they're making. President Trump's barnstorming across the country. 3 hours with Joe Rogan goes live tomorrow at noon. I can't see how that's not going to be a huge media grabber. People watching it. The numbers will be outrageous. I'm sure Rogan covered a lot of things that gave the president a chance to kind of reset some of these narratives we've heard. All the wrap-up smears that the left is trying to do now, where they put these stories out and then everybody points to it and go, whoa, look at this. The Atlantic's covering. Oh, now Yahoo's covering it. Oh, look at this. The old Nancy Pelosi wrap-up smear she told us. So I think he's going to use Rogan to reset a lot of that. I'm sure Joe asked a lot of good questions. Joe Rogan's not out to prove how smart he is. He doesn't come necessarily with an agenda. And the president's made for that. 3 hours of in and out of every subject probably you could imagine. She, of course, declined to go to Joe Rogan because she can't put a subject and a predicate together to save her life. So I think it's going to be good. I think, listen, I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, but when people say there's cracks in the blue wall, there's more than cracks in the blue wall. There's huge craters in the blue wall that he could win all three of them, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree with you. And when you look at the support, she's not going to have people crawling over burnt coals to go vote for her. I mean, she just doesn't invoke that kind of support. President Trump does, which is why I think you see these early voting numbers. We were talking about Wisconsin, 100,000 people on the first day of early voting compared to 80,000 first day of early voting back in 2020. That's big numbers. That has to be, Slick Rick, that has to be good for President Trump.
Absolutely, 100%. I have refused to wake up in a world that has Kamala Harris as our president on November 6th or 7th or whenever they get that final count in. That's for sure, Grant.
Yeah, well, in Maricopa County, it's going to be like December 1st. So don't, Florida will have it done in about 3 hours, the whole state. Maricopa County needs to, like, December 1st to do one county. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. But listen, Delgado thinks... I mean, you ask what we think. Delgado thinks places like New York and New Jersey are legitimately in play, right?
Yeah, let's go MAGA Square Garden.
Come on. Of course. Come on, Grant. Come on. You got to play the game. I know they said Mike Tyson could never lose to Buster Douglas.
Oh, they did.
But that's what we're talking about. This is what they're saying about New York. Oh, you can't win New York. You can't win New Jersey. It's crazy. It's out of control. Who thinks that way? Well, I remember just less than 2 years ago, a gentleman here almost won the governorship from Kathy Hochul. Yeah. Lee Zeldin lost by 4 points. 4 points. Most people could be standing next to Lee Zeldin and never know who he is. Everybody knows who Donald Trump is. And after they dragged him to New York City and made him sit there in that courtroom, they made him more popular in New York City, in the South Bronx, in Brooklyn, in Queens, in Staten Island. It's as simple as that. I think he has now made it so New York is in play. He's a New York guy. And I think people finally are starting to wake up going, you know what? Why do I hate this guy? I've known him all my life. He's always been here. What's the problem with him now? You know what I mean?
Damon, I've got a question for you, Damon.
Yes,
Does the
he's
studio
nuts.
there smell like weed? Has he smoking something? There is no way he's winning New York. I wish it was true.
Thank you, Grant.
I firmly believe New York is in play. I think that's why he's here at MAGA Square Garden on Sunday.
That's right.
I think that's why I think the South Bronx just opened up a lot of people's eyes because they saw the locals come.
Right,
Everybody expected what?
So look, he went to Coachella in California too. You know, I do radio out in L.A. if you can believe it, and I have people calling in, and he's going to win California. He ain't winning California, but you have to wonder: does he know something that we don't know? He's going to New York. He's going to California. Why? And when you should be really in these swing states. Is there something he knows that we don't know?
Yeah. He knows that everybody is fed up with the crap that the Democrats have been selling them for years, and I think they're finally willing, even if they have to hold their nose to pull that button for them, they're willing to hold their nose because they see what the damage, how their lives have been destroyed by this current administration between a turd brain and a flat face.
Well, one of the things, Grant, I did
Rick,
see.
whose side are you on this?
I'm going with Delgado. I'm going on the crazy train, man. Why not? I can see it. I feel it as well. That Lee Zeldin upset almost happened there. I mean, come on now. I'm on the train. MAGA Square Garden is going to show out and show up on Sunday. You watch.
All right, let me say this. I hope I'm wrong. Damon, I hope the two of us are just absolutely wrong and we can eat crow, but I'm not sure it's going to happen, Damon.
No, it's not going to happen. The two of them are absolutely out of their minds.
Yeah,
but it's what I deal with on a nightly basis. So
out of our mind that Damon was firmly said they're never going to get rid of Biden. guess what? He owes us a trip now to Vegas.
Well, no.
They got rid of Biden.
Don't. Let's not
So,
bring Grant into
welcome to the party.
Our family squabble.
Join us here on the train.
That
There's plenty of
you
room.
two liars continue to perpetuate.
Yeah.
That I lost the bet on
lost
Biden.
the bet.
The circumstances of which that he left was not what we agreed
my
upon.
Goodness.
That's the deal.
There was never circumstances that were in stone. Grant doesn't need to hear this personal family
Right.
infighting, Damon.
Yes,
he
does not.
just wants to be part of the winning team.
But at least
welcome you,
Grant's with me that the two of you are, well, nuts. That New York and New Jersey and Minnesota and California and Illinois and places like that are not in play. But to Grant's point, and Grant, I'll see. I did see this today that someone said, the fact that he's spending time in New York and these places, do their internal polling show them that being in New York and New Jersey will help them get to a point where maybe the popular vote is on the table? Is that why he's spending time here? Because even if he doesn't win the states, does the overall vote count, the popular vote, some of what he's taking away, are they seeing this in their internal polling that's making them spend this time there? I don't know.
Damon, I think all this man wants to do is win the White House. He knows he needs the Electoral College to do it, and I think that's all he's focused on. He doesn't care whether he wins the popular vote or not, though he would most certainly like to win the popular vote. I think there's a public relations standpoint in this, that when you are on the top of the mountain and you go into the belly of the beast, you're saying, come get me, and there's a publicity factor of going into Madison Square Garden, home of the New York Knickerbockers, where Ali used to fight, and you're going into New York, and you're telling them, you know what? I'll hold a rally any freaking place I want. Come and get me because we're taking this. And I think the publicity around that, you still reach people in the swing states, and you get people talking about it. And I think that's probably what's behind most of this.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, it'll be very interesting to see how Sunday plays out. But listen, having put all of that aside, I mean, to get back to your original question, I think this thing is there for the taking. You see the Washington Post today not endorsing. I'm sorry, they can try to justify that however they want. That is Jeff Bezos saying, "You parasites down there need me. We're not getting involved. We're not hitching our wagon to this loser." When I have to spend 4 years now dealing with the government for all the things I do, it's not happening.
And this, by the way, is on the heels of the LA Times not endorsing either. Guys, will you hang out for a moment? I've got a very good buddy of mine who at the last minute I said, hey, come on if you want to come on, and maybe we'll bring him on with you guys as well. That's Antonio Sabato Jr., the great actor, the great movie producer, director, you name it. If it's Hollywood, he does it. Monster conservative. Love this guy. He's going to join us next as we await President Trump out in Traverse City, Michigan. Stick with me.
Chuck says that. I'm a Chuck. Yeah, no.
Live on socials, what's going on?
I'm a Chuck says that Damon still.
We're still with you here.
Isaki.
Illinois is going, Lori says on Facebook, Illinois is going red. Okay. I hope you're all right. Child of the King, $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Happy birthday. Broke spoke. Pizza Night is correct. Always on Fridays.
See those videos coming out of Chicago, David? Chicago.
Give me Chicago. '84. Just stupid. A lot of base runners, but late.
He was talking to Steve Gruber. He's at every Trump rally, and I asked Steve to ask him. I said, "Hey, ask if he ever gets mistaken for a giraffe." Well, as soon as we go to commercial, I get a text from my buddy. He says he does look like a giraffe. Antonio Sabato Jr., you know him, actor extraordinaire, General Hospital, Calvin Klein model, now directing films, producing them, you name it. He's got the Make America Great Again hat on. Buddy, it's good to see you.
Grace by Night, baby. It's streaming everywhere. Go see us. The best movie out there. Better than any other Hollywood movie. This is the best right here. Grace by Night. Go check it out.
Grace by Night. I'm not sure why I didn't get my preview version to see, but all right, for the next one that comes out, send me one.
Came out.
All right. So anyway, you're watching the Trump rally tonight. I love that.
Of course.
How are you feeling? I asked the guys at Studio 6B. I'm going to bring them in here with us in a second, but how are you feeling moving to November 5th?
Listen, my friend, we're at a crossroad right now. We either fight for our country or we're never going to see our country ever again. So if you have a brain cell, if you have hope, if you have faith in your blood, anywhere that you have some kind of dignity for yourself, you're going to vote for Trump. I don't care if you like him, you dislike him, you better vote for them because the other side is evil. We're talking about the worst kind ever existed, taking care of our country and ruining the future of our nation. So you don't want that. This is some serious business right now. Vote Trump. Tell everyone to vote for Trump, and that's it. And there's no other questions about that. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, it's great advice, and it is so true with what you're saying here. And I just said it a little earlier. The attack on America, I believe it's demonic. All right, so, Antonio, let me bring in the guys over at Studio 6B, all right? And I think you know these guys because Slick Rick and Delgado, they were Calvin Klein models also, weren't they?
That was 5 years ago.
Maybe not.
You're the best.
Maybe not. Anyway, Damon, Rick Squared, it's great to see you guys back on. I don't know if you ever met my buddy Antonio Sabato Jr., but he's a great conservative. And Damon, his message that he just laid on us is perfect, isn't it?
I mean, I was over here saying, oh, man, I love this guy. I mean, that's right on the money. I mean, and he's absolutely right. And, I mean, listen, Grant, it's all in front of us. We all know this, right? I mean, it's not only just the White House. 4 years in the White House, but it's we probably have 3 Supreme Court picks in the next 4 years. You're talking about things that are when you talk about things that matter to the American people, and what this other party, we're up against people who play with brass knuckles. And listen, they've got the Supreme Court's right dead in their sights. They've got 2 more states. They've got 2 more senators. They've got 16 million people coming across the border. They have forever power in their sights. They want to get rid of the filibuster. This is what's amazing as they stand up there and tell us that President Trump is a threat to democracy. Of course, we don't live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional representative republic. Our founders specifically did not want a democracy. And what we have done is we have foregone liberty individual liberty, specifically in the pursuit of democracy. That's the problem. What the Democrat Party wants is and so this is what's so funny, is they say he's the threat to democracy, and then in the next breath they say, well, we want to target the filibuster, we want to get rid of the Supreme Court, we want to control the supermarket industry and control pricing. It's, well, who sounds like the fascist and who sounds like the threat to democracy now? Yeah. So he said it perfectly. I mean, that's what we're up against.
Listen, my friend, our life is dependent. Our lives, our children. I'm talking about our lives. The moment this woman, if she ever would win, the end of our nation, the end of America, the end of the United States of America, the end of that beam, that light, that hope will be over. And there's no questions about that. She's the dumbest, the worst person you could ever put in office to destroy. She's owned. She's a sheep. She's evil. We're talking about evil people who control and propaganda on a daily basis beyond socialism, beyond Republican and Democrats. We're talking about evil. We're talking about pedophilia. We're talking about the Matrix. We're talking about owning the world and globalist. We're talking about opening our border, fentanyl, drugs. We're talking about education, not having any of it. And we're talking about lack of ignorance of these people who are voting for the Democrat Party are the dumbest people ever existed on the planet, and they have to stop. They shouldn't be able to vote at all because they don't even know what voting really is and it's all about. So now let's bring it back to our morals as a country, what this great nation is all about, and get it back in about a week and a half, because that's all we got left right now. We got to fight. Tell everyone you go outside and you wear this freaking hat everywhere you go, and you're not afraid anymore, because we're not afraid anymore. That's it. They're ignorant and they're the worst, and we work for God. We have God in our veins. Make America great again, people.
Well, you can see now why he's got to make his own movies, because Hollywood's not going to listen to that message.
I don't care.
I know you don't. This is why I love you, Antonio, because you don't care, and you now live up to your words. You know, Slick Rick, he was talking about wearing the hat. I was at Disney World with my son over the summer, and my son says, Dad, you're not going to wear the Make America Great Again. Now, he's a big Trump guy. He's like, we're going to get attacked. We're going to get Why? Do you know I made more friends? More people came up to me. It was not it was the exact opposite. People shaking my hand, Slick Rick.
I'm telling you, that's why it's in play. That's why New York and other places, they're in play. Trust me, Grant, we're on to this.
You know, Grant,
Antonio, I don't know if you heard us.
Yeah, sorry.
Listen, I was just going to ask Antonio.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I'm so passionate about this because our country, in a week and a half, people don't understand how important. The last time was the most important one, but they stole the election. They stole the election in front of our eyes, in front of the American people. And that was wrong. They stole everything that was precious to us. And now we have a chance. And they're not going to steal it again, because the American people, the independent, the Latinos, the black, everybody's just had enough with this whole thing. And now they're bringing the Nazis again, and they're bringing this whole, it's like a full circle. They grab the dumbest people, especially the Hollywood folks, who they think they're so smart. They know how to read a script, but they don't know how to read life. They don't know anything. I mean, we have Michael Keaton, all these people that I adore growing up, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, all these people are voting for Kamala, are the dumbest people. I'll never watch any of their movies again because I cannot support these people. Now they're showing their true colors. I'm going to fight for God, and I'm going to fight for Make America Great Again. We're going to win our country back in about a week and a half.
Amen to that, Damon.
Yeah, amen to that is right. And listen, I think, Grant, to your point, and Antonio wearing the hat there, I think the stigma is gone on it. I mean, I think it's, you know, it's almost becoming the in thing now to wear the MAGA hat. I think some people are, you know, for lack of a better term, out of the closet on the hiding from the Trump thing. I think, you know, we may not be back to the days of pre-2016 where he's going to be in rap videos again. But listen, you talk to common sense people on the street. We see these videos all the time of these men on the street guys going up in neighborhoods, you know, African-American neighborhoods. Who are you with? Well, we're with Trump. I mean, there's not a lot of hiding it anymore.
$100 for 6 items at the grocery store. We're talking about we can't afford to live, and we're dependent on these people in politics who are stealing from us, are stealing our oil, are stealing our future, are putting this propaganda about this woke thing about females and males, who's this, who's that, all this nonsense. We got to get back to hardworking American people who fight for our future, who fight for something, for dignity, for God, and family and kids, and just things that are really important, not these jokers, these losers who make a lot of money and all of a sudden they get on the internet and they start telling other people how to live and control, which is the most important thing people forget, control people like Kamala. And they tell exactly what to say and how to do things. And then they change it because the media owns everything. They're owned by everybody, and they own the message that they deliver. And people are woken. They're so woken, like you're saying right now. They're awake. It's a beautiful thing. And we're only getting stronger. But we can't stop because they're going to cheat. And they're going to keep on cheating because they don't play fair. We're not dealing with people that deal with, like, going on a fair fight. They're coming with guns, and we're coming unarmed. So right now, the only fight that we have is the voting booth. Everybody is this your life you want to have in the last 4 years? Or you want to have the 4 years before with no wars, where you could be able to go and buy a steak and not worrying about $100 for a gallon of milk plus a pack of eggs or whatever, and then you can even make it home and you're living on the street. And not to mention our veterans who are dying on the streets, and Gavin Newsom and those people are taking advantage. Enough is enough. And I don't care how many movies you make or Academy Awards and all that stuff, because God is good and is stronger than Hollywood and all that stuff. And I'm coming strong for you. I'm going to make movies. We're going to do things. We're going to do it our way. God bless you guys. I'm telling you, I am passionate.
I think, and I'd like to get your guys' take on this because you're in New York. I think one of the reasons why Californians, New Yorkers, where there was such pushback against Trump during the pandemic, I don't think they understood the greatness that Trump had. States like California and New York were in prison. They still had high gas prices. California was through the roof. I'm in Texas. My gas prices were low. I'm free. I'm going around anywhere I want to go. My business is booming. Everything is great. But if you're in California and New York, it's like you live in prison. You didn't get to experience any of that because of the state level.
I ran in California. I learned a big lesson running for government because I really understand how this government really works. And they're the worst people in the world. They are the worst people on the planet who work in our government. And Trump knows who they are now because he's already worked in there. He already knows their faces, their names, where they live, everything about them. And these people who are in this woke agenda, who have this socialism, even worse, whatever you want to call it, this evil agenda, they know he's coming for them because they're all going to end up where they belong, behind bars or in hell. Because we're talking about destroying the most beautiful country in the world, destroying marriage, destroying the future of our children, really destroying our border, destroying our flag, destroying the dignity of our country, and the list goes on. And at this point, we need our troops back, we need our flag back and high, we need to start believing in God, and we need to start cherishing our country the way it's supposed to. We earn our citizenship. We earn it. We don't just say, government, give me. Those days are over. And it's going to be over in about a week and a half.
I'll tell you what. I talk all the time on the show about being bold and bold voices and standing up for what you believe in. Antonio Sabato Jr., you fall right into that category. And I'll tell you what, the guys at Studio 6B, Damon, Rick Delgado, Slick Rick, you guys fall right in that category. We are unapologetic about anything. We believe in what we believe in, and you can like it or not. And with that, I'm going to let you guys take it as we wait for President Trump. You can keep Antonio if you want. He'll probably fill the rest of the show for you.
I
Sure could.
I still haven't said hello to him. We used to work together on Melrose Place.
Is that true?
Yeah, I was an extra for a couple episodes.
Yeah, like he is here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not too dissimilar to what he's doing now.
Some things never change.
I was much better looking back then, more hair. But no, it's awesome to see people like Antonio coming out, and like you said, Hollywood is the worst place for these people because it's all controlled by the left. And if you come out and you take a position, you end up ostracized. It affects your career. It doesn't matter how good of an actor, singer, dancer, what have you. They will destroy your career simply because you're not falling into line. And if you don't fall into line, there's a price to be paid. And unfortunately, you see it a lot of times. Somebody like Joe Rogan, who did that 3-hour podcast with President Trump today, fortunately for him, he had so much power and money that he could just tell him to go pound sand. I'm going to Texas where you guys can't bother me anymore. And I think we're starting to see more and more of these Hollywood types. And it's more than just the people in front of the cameras. And Antonio, you could probably speak to this. You probably get a lot of support from the people behind the camera because they're the ones that don't have the $20 million salaries.
Fed up that they're being hired based on their political views or lack of views or basically not having no faith or God in you. Basically, if you wear a cross on a movie set and you're very passionate about your faith, all of a sudden you'll be fired or something will happen to you or you'll not be going to be called again to screen test for this. This is the most ridiculous thing. I'm going to fight against that. Hire me based on my ability as an actor, which right now I've done this movie that is winning a lot of awards, Grace by Night, a really beautiful movie that the whole family can watch. And so I'm giving them something so good that basically they can't even criticize it. They can't tell me I'm a bad actor because this movie and everybody in it is fantastic. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I'm going to basically do that, and I'm going to fight for free speech because in Hollywood there is no free speech. There's nothing about that. If you disagree with them about anything political, especially now, you'll never be hired again, and that is wrong, and I will fight for that. And if you want to live or work in that environment, where everybody's always talking about pedophilia in Hollywood, and I come in with God and good things, and you don't want to hire me, and you want to hire these people who are constantly lying, who are voting for Kamala, and not hiring a Christian, good American guy like me, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to work with you. There's nothing wrong with me compared to these people. These people are pretty much getting on their knees and worshiping a devil, pretty much, and everything that she stands and the party stands for right now, because it's like abortions, open borders, more wars, more fentanyl. I don't want to, listen, I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat right now. I'm a human being and I'm American. So I choose to be in peace. I choose to have a protected border, just like my house. I don't want strangers to come in my own house. And I want to be able to take care of my family and be left alone in my beliefs, right? That's the American dream, right? We don't have that anymore. In about a week and a half, we're going to have it again. And we're going to keep fighting for this until we get it back, because these people on the left, or whatever, the far left, or whatever you want to call it, are completely so dangerous for the future of really our humanity. Even Elon Musk is saying this. I mean, we're at a crossroad right now that if you guys want to go to Mars, if you really want to go to the next level, you got to leave this mentality that does not work. It's created on purpose to scare you, to put you down. And I'm against it.
I tell you, I am free to go watch my Yankees, and this seems to be a common theme with me and the guys at Studio 6B. So, Game 1 of the World Series, and I'm headed there now. I will see you guys later. Damon, I want you to take it. Antonio Sabato Jr., you're such a great friend. I appreciate you coming on with me, and Damon, you and Rick. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Have fun tonight.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much. 0-0, top of the fourth, 2 outs, so you didn't miss much. So there you go. Enjoy the rest of the game. All right, there's the great Grant Stinchfield, Stinchfield Army. Of course, Stinchfield on before us every night, 7 to 8. Live from Studio 6B. We're here. Slick's here. Rick Delgado's here. Of course, Antonio Sabato Jr. was fantastic.
Yeah. Fire.
Wow. Fire, right?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Go check out that movie he was talking about. I have to check that out. But, all right, so Aaron, is the clock right? All right, so clock's right. Hour 2, live from Studio 6B. President Trump delayed getting to Michigan. 3 hours with Joe Rogan. We'll do that.
I'll do it. It's
That'll do
worth it. Well worth it.
And I figure it will be well worth it.
Unless you're freezing in Michigan, then that's debatable.
Yeah, you might think it's debatable if you're sitting there waiting for him.
Right.
I can understand that. But I think noon tomorrow, we're going to see a couple 100 million people check out this interview. If I had to guess,
will be 300 million.
If I had to guess, I think the numbers are going to be astronomical.
It's going to be staggering.
Wow!
Just a little clip they put out tonight will be enough to drive 100 million views tomorrow. So
yeah, and this is the exact thing that Trump is able to do. That Kamala, she could study all she wants. She wouldn't be able to do 30 minutes. let alone 3 hours.
I mean, she can't even do what is amazing about her. If you watch the CNN town hall the other night, I said this. I don't know if I said this on this show or the morning show, but I'm going to say it again. When you've been a politician for as long as she's been a politician, most politicians, say what you will about them, most of them are slimy used car salesmen, but most of them are pretty polished, especially if they've been doing it for a long time. They understand how to talk to people. They understand how to talk in front of a crowd. They understand how to communicate with people one-on-one. They understand how to take questions, because that's what you do as a politician. You sell yourself to the voters. You communicate with voters. You talk in front of people. You take questions from people. You go on, do media. You go on, do radio. So you're used to it. So you've done it for 10, 15 years. You are polished. That's why you see Tucker, you used to see Rush, you see Levin when they go to CPAC, they go to all these places outside their studio or outside their show. They take the microphone. They're professional communicators. That's what they do. When you watch them talk, you're like, wow, that's what they do. They're polished professionals, just pristine at what they do. She has been in politics for however long, attorney general, senator. She has been doing this for way too long to be this crappy at it.
Yeah, she's at least 2 decades.
You ask her basic questions. It would be like putting an application in to go work at a job at Friendly's or Dick's Sporting Goods or any place, and going in there, and the guy asks you the most questions you have to know are coming.
Like your name.
And you have no answers. She always looks like, I cannot believe you just asked me that question.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you expect?
And you can tell she doesn't know what to say, because she immediately darts her eyes to the side. And she starts, it's almost like she's searching for an answer, because she wasn't expecting that. And that's what you saw a lot of with the town hall. I mean, we do have some clips from last night that we never got to, if you want to try and go to those. But that's...
I mean, she gave disqualifying answers just in the town hall alone. One of my weaknesses is that if you ask me something, I don't have the answer maybe right on the tip of my tongue. I have to go research it. Well, that alone is disqualifying to be the president of the United States. Because when people walk into the Oval and they say, sir, we have a problem, whatever, I need some time to go research this. I'll get back to you with a decision in a week. No, we need it right now.
Right. And remember, she took the day before this off to prep for this, and she still failed miserably. Again, it's like that middle school kid who does the oral book report on the book they didn't read. And they got nothing right. They just keep referring to the same line. Maybe one sentence here or one sentence there, something they remember.
The forward on page 1.
The forward, maybe the title. They keep looping the title back into the answer because they don't know what they're talking about.
She lost a one-person debate.
Yeah.
She lost a one-person debate, her being the only person.
And she still tried to blame Trump.
Now they're trying to blame... Anderson Cooper.
Are you serious?
Anderson Cooper this morning.
Of all people.
I said this. If you watched that, you would think he was voting for Trump. That's how bad she was. Not because I ever think he's voting for Trump, but that's the way it looked because she was so bad. It looked like he brutalized her. Not because he brutalized her, because she was that bad.
Yeah.
He looked like he sandbagged her. Not because he actually sandbagged her. Far from the truth. But that's how bad she was. It was so bad. And so, of course, the next morning, he was on CNN in the morning, and he said, I never usually check social media comments on anything I do, but I happened to check it this morning. And he said, I have people on the left telling me, how dare you ask her those questions? And he said,
what?
I'm not, he said, I'm not on MSNBC. And I said, whoa, shots fired.
Yeah, shot across the bow.
And then he quickly caught himself and said, but what they do is great over there. But my job is to ask questions and get the answers for the American people. That's all I care about. My job is not to sit there and with her, which, of course, that's what they do. But even it's not like he went after. It wasn't like Tucker was the host and was going after her.
Right.
He asked her basic questions with soft follow-ups.
Well,
soft follow-ups.
And I think that was the issue that they had, was that he actually followed up when he said, yeah, but So you don't. We're talking
do
about
both?
the wall, right?
Yeah, couldn't you do both? That's a hard follow-up.
Right.
Couldn't you have done both? That's 5 words or whatever it is. Couldn't you have done both? 5 words. That's the level of follow-up that Anderson Cooper gave her to questions, and they lost their mind because she was so horrendous at it.
And keep in mind, these were pre-approved questions. Pre-approved. No surprises.
No,
we
never
even have
surprises.
the clip.
Yeah.
We even have the clip from Maria Shriver, who was, I guess, gonna do the stuff. Admits that only pre-approved questions are going to be asked. You don't get to ask questions. It's amazing. Here, check this out. This is cut number 1. They admit it.
You're not, unfortunately. We have some predetermined questions, and hopefully I'll be able to ask some of the questions that might be in your head. I hope so.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
There you go.
Yeah.
They admit it. You're not going to be allowed to ask. No one's allowed to ask questions.
And still, I mean, we'll take a break and then we'll get to some of the clips. I'll pull up the Anderson Cooper clip from this morning too. I mean, just still so absolutely wretched she is as a candidate.
And what's amazing is that people are still so. I think they're starting to freak out on the left because I see this on Facebook. I wish Vin was here. I'm sure he would back me up. There are still so many liberals who are just like, I can't believe people would actually vote for Trump. And it's like, the fact that you're waking up first thing in the morning to post something like that means you got a problem.
All right, 13 past the hour. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll do some sports, with news. We'll look at some clips. Live from Studio 6B. I mean, we got a pitcher's duel here so far. I mean, Cole looks pretty good.
Hey, Damon, we have 3 reads here tonight.
Pretty efficient, too. 48 pitches through almost 4 innings. We have what?
3 reads.
3 reads?
Yeah.
Farmer Brooks going to do the reads tonight. All righty, let me pull them up. What's going on in the chat? Make sure you hit the like, subscribe. See everybody. Where'd the pizza come from? Local place here. We always get it from. That's the best. It's so good, it's stupid. Damon, your videos aren't working. We can't round. I have no idea what that means.
Can't round?
That's what it said. Can't round. I don't know. Even if it was an S, can't sound, can't hear. Maybe I don't know.
Videos where?
I have no idea. What am I looking for here? Reads from. Birch, AMAC, and Patriot Mobile. AMAC, Birch, Patriot Mobile. Got it. Tommy Viper, what's going on? Another super chat, Big D. I missed it. I wish they would keep the super chats in one place so I could see them. Now, where do I go to see it? Who was it? Whoever it was, thank you very much. You have 3 reads, Damon. Yes, I do. Damon, you guys need some beer with the pizza. No, we don't. We don't have any beer. It's been an unusual night, Damon. Okay. Well, you've gotten to see some behind the scenes. Hi, Penny on Facebook. Farmer Brooks said, tell Tommy I said hi, Damon. Okay. Tommy, Farmer Brooks says hi. Child of the King was the super chat again. Thank you very much. I sound like the blue on a Friday night. Let me talk to you about our friends at AMAC. You know, as we move towards the upcoming election, there's a lot on the line for all Americans. That's why it's more important than ever to stay informed, stay involved, most importantly, join a community that stands for your values. And that, of course, is AMAC. The Association of Mature American Citizens is the leading conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. Members receive a subscription to the AMAC magazine, exclusive discounts on a wide range of benefits, free resources, trusted news, and so much more. President Trump said it best when he said, I think AMAC is great. AMAC stands strong on the issues that matter to you, securing our borders, protecting Medicare, preserving the integrity of our elections. AMAC also fights to protect your freedom and sees that your voice is heard in Washington. Join AMAC today. Be a part of the movement that champions your values. Join amac.us/Studio6B. That's where you go. Visit amac.us/Studio6B to become a member. Make a difference. That's amac.us/Studio6B. This election season, make sure you stand with AMAC. Together, we'll protect America's future. Well, there's a lot at stake in this upcoming election, but regardless of who's sitting in the White House, the fuse on the economy has already been lit. Even 4 years of a conservative presidency will not be enough to turn the tide on our $35 trillion of national debt. And if the left wins, well, it'll be like throwing gas right on top of that fire. You know that. You don't have too much control of the election's outcome, but what you can do right now is protect your savings by diversifying into gold with the help of our friends from the Birch Gold Group. For millennia, gold has stood firm in the face of greedy governments, economic upheavals, and global strife, and it can protect you, and it can protect you right now when you most need it. Birch Gold will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold, tax-free, penalty-free, and it doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket to do it. In the past 4 years, the buying power of the U.S. dollar has declined, of course, as they continue to devalue that dollar. The price of gold has increased 40%. Coincidence? I don't think so. Text the word America to 989898. Get your free information kit on gold. Trust Birch Gold to protect your savings. Text the word America to the number 989898 and do it today. Well, if you think the country's going in the wrong direction, and many of you do, does it feel like everything's falling apart? Well, if you're feeling alarmed, you're not alone. In fact, Americans from all walks of life have taken action to prepare for what's coming next, and that starts with having an emergency food supply. Storing food in your home is the right thing to do because you're living in crazy times, which explains why so many people are preparing. Right now, you can get ready, too, with a 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. It comes with delicious foods like creamy stroganoff, honey wheat bread, mushroom rice pilaf. The entire kit offers 2,000 calories every day. The food lasts up to 25 years. Who knows what the country will look like, of course, at that point. But when the day comes, you'll be ready. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com, MyPatriotSupply.com now to order your 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. Right now, go to MyPatriotSupply.com. All right, 20 minutes past the hour on a Pizza Friday night live from Studio 6B. Glad you're in, part of the show. If you're watching on socials, make sure you hit the like and subscribe, thumbs up. Whatever platform you're watching on, we'll get back into the chat, some of your comments before we wrap it up for a Friday and a weekend. But let's do some sports right now. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout as your promo code. Great way to support Mike Lindell and all the great stuff he does and makes. And if you're shopping for the holiday season, I would get on it before it gets too late. Make sure you get all your stuff in time. Use promo code LFS6B at checkout. We will, in turn, for using that code, make sure you get a free T-shirt from us and a little extra special gift that'll be coming along with that T-shirt throughout November and December. But I can't tell you what that is. You'll have to just wait and see. Slick, let's do some sports. What's going on?
All right, Big D. Well, it's all in L.A. right now. Boy, what a World Series pitches duel. Great game. Garrett Cole, Jack Flaherty. No scores yet, so shutout baseball. We are in the top of the 5th inning. Yankees have 2 outs on them, and yeah, boy, if this is the way the series is going to be. A lot of base runners. Guys are getting on base, but they're just not getting across. Great defense. Yankees making some great plays in the field, as are the Dodgers. So, again, I think this is going to be an exciting series. Already looks like it's going to go the distance, 7 games. I really do feel at least 6, maybe 7. So great stuff there. Again, no score. Get a sweep of the rest of the scoreboard for you. A little NHL action going on. Islanders over the Devils 3-2. 8 minutes to go in the 3rd. The Blackhawks in Chicago lead the Predators 1-0. End of 1. 11:29 to go in the first. Oilers and Penguins. No score. Earlier tonight, Golden Knights over the Senators 6-4 out in Vegas. NBA action. Magic 95-80 over the Nets. 6 to go there in the 4th. 87-79 Raptors over the Sixers. 9:58 there in the 4th. Hawks lead the Hornets 82-75. 2 to go there in the 3rd. Also in the 3rd, Knicks rounding it up on Indiana 82-59 in the Garden. Looking good. They're warming up the Garden for Trump's arrival on Sunday, Big D. So good stuff there for the Knicks. Right now the Bucks and Bulls at the half. Milwaukee leading that 64-63. Warriors and Jazz coming up at 9:30. Want to get to this story. You know, I like this guy more. I dislike this guy more and more every time I see him in the news. Stephen A. Smith leaves Sean Hannity stunned after hinting he will vote for Kamala Harris, despite admitting she has lied. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. ESPN personality Stephen A. Smith revealed to Fox News' Sean Hannity that he is voting for Kamala Harris this year, even as he admitted that Harris lied to the country about Joe Biden's serious mental decline. Appearing on Thursday on the Sean Hannity Show, Smith blasted Donald Trump's mental state, according to the Daily Mail. Hannity tried to drag out of Smith who he was voting for, but instead of directly endorsing Harris, he said who he could vote for. I'd have voted almost for any Republican but him, Nikki Haley, Christie, but not him, Smith said. But Hannity was astounded that Smith had ignored all of Harris's problems. She has to give us word salads because she won't tell us how she really feels. She's hiding her true beliefs. Hannity said, outraged Donald Trump doesn't do that. However, Smith struck back, averring that it is Trump who is less than cognate. Wow. I know you're not talking about someone being lucid and cognate and enunciating their thoughts with clarity, and you're bragging about Donald Trump, Smith said. We can't be watching the same stuff if that's what you're doing, Smith retorted. You're not going to do that today. Hannity also sparred with Smith after the sports broadcaster insisted that he would never have expected Kamala Harris to admit openly that Joe Biden was suffering from diminished mental capacity. Still, Smith claimed that he wasn't against Republicans. When you bring up issues in terms of character or in terms of being truthful or whatever, let me tell you something right now. You can bring a whole bunch of Republicans, and I'll be cool with that, Smith said. You can't bring up Trump to make a case against somebody else using those arguments. So Hannity going back and forth with Stephen A. Smith. He is,
he's a moron.
You know how I feel about him.
Stephen A. had a run there for a while where he seemed pretty cogent himself. He used to go on Levin. He used to semi make sense. He's obviously, the more time he spends at ESPN, the more he's lost it.
He's become woke and he's way off
totally lost it. I mean, that argument is, I didn't see it. I'm surprised that he got that much out without Hannity pushing back at all, because that argument is insanity.
I think that's why he let him do it. He probably just sat back and let the tape roll. Yeah. Hang himself with the rope.
Trump doesn't sound cogent? Really? Have you listened? He's only done podcasts for hours upon hours upon subject upon subject. He just did 3 hours at Rogan, 2 hours at Theo Vaughn, 2 hours with Bussin' with the Boys, 4 hours with Lex Friedman or whatever it was. Yeah, he's not cogent? What are you talking about? That's ridiculous. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You could say a lot of things. I don't like the way he tweets. He says things that are stupid. He says this. He says that. There's a lot of things you could say that are not perfect about Donald Trump. Saying that he's not all there upstairs or is not cogent is not one of them.
So it's their fallback. It's like, well, we got rid of Biden, so they can't use it. Let's use it on him,
right?
Because he's old.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It's a lazy argument.
We have eyes and ears and video.
Right.
Guy's 78 going on 38.
All right, we're back right after this, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night.
Hey, Damon.
I don't know what Kamala's team spent on production for this thing they're doing in Texas, but they must be spending their $1 billion tonight on production, because the production of this thing is. Take a look at this. They got 1 million people watching.
That's a pretty big jib shot.
And look at the jib shots and the camera shots they got on this thing.
They got some nice lenses there, don't they?
I mean, I haven't seen anything that's looked this good from the Republicans. I mean, look at these cameras and lenses and the jib shot there. I don't know if they think their production is going to win them any votes, but this thing is produced like crazy.
So you did a really good job reading that My Patriot Supply ad.
It was supposed to be the
Patriot
phone company.
Mobile. Yeah.
So I'll do that.
Okay.
I knew it when I started it that I got the MP wrong. Oh yeah, we should. We have time. Let's do it.
Let's do what?
Do we have a guest?
We have a guest?
Who is it? Matt? All right. That's right. Let's do the odds makers. We got time.
Yeah. Let's blow it up.
I'll do the reading 8.
I haven't seen anything new. Get back to the news website.
Boom, boom, boom. Chat. What's going on? Hey, Slick, do we have any... Damon, they have all the Hollywood producers to help them. Well, they're helping them tonight. They're helping them tonight because that is one good-looking production. It's not going to make her sound any better, I get it, but it's one good-looking production on TV, I'll tell you that. Hello, Janice on Facebook. All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, busy Friday night. Israel's bombing the hell out of Iran. Retaliation strikes there. President Trump did Joe Rogan today, 3 hours, made him a little late getting to Michigan. But he should be arriving there, and he'll speak there in Michigan tonight.
Now, when is he? When is he supposed to? I guess when are they expecting him now to get to the stage?
I don't know what the latest update is, but it was supposed to be 7:30. But obviously, he didn't get done with Rogan for 3 hours, so put him back. But as Grant said, if there's any crowd that's going to hang around and wait, it's going to be that crowd. Wait for him. So I would assume they will. So, well, it's a Friday night. Which means one thing. It's time now to do your weekly odds makers. Roll it up there, friend. All right, here we go. What is it? What week is it, Slick?
Week 8.
Week 8 in the NFL. Slick Rick, Aaron's going to make their picks. And, of course, representing the audience this week, Matt is here. Matt, where are you from? Welcome to the show, my friend.
Joliet, Illinois.
All right, Matt from Illinois is here. He's going to pick it up. Now, the audience has been struggling a little bit, Matt, so no pressure here.
I see that.
I see that American flag behind you. I see that hat. I think you're looking ready to pick it up here for the people.
I'm hoping. I'm going 4-0.
Oh, okay, there. I like that right there. I like that confidence right there. I'm going 4-0. I like that right there. So here we go. Slick, where are we going?
All right.
Game number 1.
First game for Slick Rick. We're going to go to a 1 o'clock game, and we're going to NRG Stadium in Houston, where the Colts are going down to Texas to take on the Houston Texans. And I'm taking the Colts +5 on the road. C.J. Stroud looking to bounce back, but I think good old Colt QB Anthony Richardson's going to have a big day, and I think they're going to win that game. That looks pretty ripe for an upset there on the road. Colts +5.
All right, Colts +5. They're 4-3 on the road. Houston 5-2 at home. Houston's looked good. Your total in that game's 45.5. Indy +5 for Slick. Game number 1 in the NFL. Aaron, coming to you. Where are you going for game number 1?
I'm going to go to college for game number 1. I'm going to Indiana over Washington. I had 6.5 for that line. I don't know if it's changed since yesterday, but that's a noon game tomorrow.
Oh, it's a noon game?
Yes.
All right. Indiana -5.5. Washington coming to town. Indiana 7-0 on the year. Washington 4-3. Noon game. Where are you going in the game, Aaron?
I like that line. I'm going with Indiana here. This is going to be the biggest test for Indiana's offense, but I think they're going to lean heavily on their ground attack after seeing Washington give up over 200 yards on the ground to Iowa in their last game. And I don't think the Huskies are going to be able to get much going coming to the West Coast. It's a 3-hour time difference. The game's at noon. It's going to be a little early for them, and that's going to play a factor, I think. So I'm going to go with Indiana.
All right, Indiana -5.5 for the undefeated Hoosiers. Try to stay undefeated. Saturday at noon. Matt from Illinois here representing the audience tonight. Matt, where are you going to go for your game 1?
Oh, I'm going to go back down to Houston at NRG Stadium and go with the Texans myself, though.
Okay, so a little opposite of the Slickster here. So Houston -5 over Indy. Why do you like Houston here?
Oh, just a better team. Just a better team.
Better team. All right.
I like Rick's choice there, but I don't think Richardson's going to do it.
Okay. You like Rick's choice, but you think he's wrong. So Houston -5.
Let's get it out.
Matt from Illinois telling Slick, no, not so fast. Houston -5 for me. All right. Slick, game number 2. Where are you going?
Well, I'm going to go to Detroit, Big D, Ford Field. Lions at 5-1, taking on, it's a flip-flop, the Titans at 1-5. And I'm going to lay the 11. I think that head coach Dan Campbell, he likes to run up the score. Just ask Chris Christie. He had that story about he ran it up against his Cowboys. I can't believe Christie and I like the same football team, but that's another story for a different day. But I think that Will Levis, they should leave well enough alone with him. He probably won't play again. He was out last week. Jared Goff will scoff them, and he's going to take that game, and they're going to blow him right out of the stadium. Lions are looking to make a case for best team in the NFL, along with, of course, the undefeated Chiefs right now.
Okay, Detroit -11 in that game. Your total is only 44.5 with an 11-point favorite. That would make me a little nervous taking Detroit. But Slick's going to lay the 11 in that game. All right, game number 2. Aaron, where are you going?
I am going to Green Bay for this game. Packers are taking on Jacksonville Jaguars. I had the line was 4.
Yep.
Don't know if it's moved. Okay, I'm going to go with the Packers here. The Jaguars are coming home after London and a bye week, but I don't think they're going to be able to beat a Green Bay team that's getting better every week. Jordan Love has been taking a lot of shots downfield, and that's creating a lot of explosive plays on the offense. And I think Love is going to be fine against Jacksonville's secondary that's ranking dead last against the pass. And there's a lot of injuries on Jacksonville's offense, so I think the Packers are going to make a statement here.
Okay, Green Bay -4 on the road over Jacksonville. Aaron's game number 2. Matt from Illinois, game number 2. Where are you going?
All right, Matt from Illinois is going to go back with, this time I'm going to agree with Rick Slick. And take the Lions with the 11. 11.5, is it still, or 11?
Yep, 11.
11, yeah, I'll go with the Lions. We're going to cover on that. And because Rudolph's going for the Titans, and because Levis is sitting out, I know, from what I read earlier. So I'll go with them.
All right, very good. Slick, we're going to move it along here. Game number 3, quickly. Who are you going? Just give me the pick.
I'm going to take Buffalo -3 over Seattle.
All right, Buffalo -3 over Seattle. Aaron, where are you going for game number 3?
I am going to the Texans game. I'm going to pick the Texans over the Colts.
Okay, Texans also now. It's all 3 of you on that game. All right, Matt, where are you going for game number 3?
I'll go with the Packers-Jaguars game this time, and I'm at Packers plus the 4 there.
Okay, Packers plus the 4 over Packers -4 over Jacksonville.
4, yes, sir, definitely.
All right, very good. And Slick, game 4, where are you going?
College, Penn State -6.5 over Wisconsin. They're looking to go with an undefeated record and take on OSU next week. So.
All right, Aaron, what do you got for game number 4?
I am going to take the Commanders over the Bears. They are taking the points at home.
All right, very good. And Matt, wrap it up with you. Game number 4 is what?
Panthers, Broncos out there in Mile High. We'll go with the Broncos to cover the 10.
I like that game.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
There you go. There's an
Okay.
odds maker. So I'm sorry I had to rush it, but we got to get back to the stage out
All
in
good,
Michigan. There you go. Matt from Illinois representing the audience today. Very good job, Matt. Very good. Slick. Aaron, great job as always. Matt, thanks. We'll see how you do. We'll recap on Monday. Thanks for joining us.
All right, God bless, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. You too.
There you go.
All right, bye-bye.
Aaron, if we can, let's get back out to see what's going on in Michigan. Do we have speakers up there? There we go. Let's listen in here.
Campaign by Kamala is that somehow the Republican in Congress didn't pass this bill that she wanted because then they were going to hire another couple thousand Border Patrol. I asked the question. I'm a business guy. I went straight all the way to the top of Homeland Security, and I said, hey, every time I've been down there, everybody's taking early retirement, everybody's leaving. How many positions do we have available right now that you don't need a bill for? The answer is thousands. They could hire thousands of Border Patrol today just to fill the spots of all the people that have left. There is no need for this new bill that they're talking about. They could be doing more right now, but you can't if you don't have the leadership. President Trump represents leadership that law enforcement respects, the Border Patrol checks, and if we don't have that, all the rules in the world are not going to close the border. He's the one that can get it done.
Yes, because if we don't have someone who respects the people who work there, then they don't want to work there. And that's the beauty of Donald Trump. He doesn't want to lead you. He doesn't want to control you. He wants to serve you. And we are so blessed that he will be here soon to come and talk to you about how he wants to serve you. But please, everybody, give a big round of applause for Governor Burgum and thank him for coming here.
And thank you, Tudor. And we got a special surprise here. We got people we know they want hats. You've been waiting a long time.
We have hats.
There he is. The congressman's he's got a good arm. He's throwing them out right now. There he is.
You have to throw them too. So I don't have a good arm.
There you go. Governor Doug Burgum on stage with Tudor Dixon.
Yeah.
Of course, ran for governor out there against Ava Perón. Came up short, unfortunately, on stage there in Michigan as they wait for President Trump. And Doug Burgum, of course, if I had to make a list of people who have been on the campaign trail for the president, who I hope he keeps off of anything else after the election is over, Doug Burgum would be at the top of the list. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. But
he got heckled a little, I heard in the audience.
We'll wait to start complaining about personnel till after we win on November 5th, and then see who the president's going to keep close to the administration. Let's hope Doug's not one of them, but I got a feeling that he's going to be. But 20 minutes till the hour, live from Studio 6B. So we're waiting on the president to get to Michigan as he continues to basically, he's going to have 2-3 events, 10 days out here. Him and J.D. Vance barnstorming around the country. Joe Rogan, I'll remind you, will come out tomorrow at noon. And I may live stream the whole thing. You watch me in the mornings, I may go live just at noon, and we'll watch it together for the first time.
That's if you can get on.
That's if what?
I said that's if you can get on.
His show?
No. I mean to be able to watch it, because last time when he did when he's done a few things, when he did the thing with Elon, and it's a fight to get into the stream and to.
Well, he's just posting it. It's not like streaming it. He's just going to post it.
Oh, it's not live. Yeah.
No, it's not live. It's already taped. So he's just going to put it's just going to put it up and make it available for the public to go view.
Should be accessible.
Oh, all right.
It's not like it's something you have to get into. It's he's just going to post it on X and post it on all the platforms, and
you can listen to an hour and then stop
just
it and go
watch
back.
It. Yeah, it's just on VOD. It's just putting it up.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking of it a different way.
Yeah, no. It's not like a Spaces or something like that where you have to get in and then listen. So
VOD.
Let's do some news. We haven't done any news. We did sports. We did the quick odds makers. Let's do some news. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, it was mentioned quickly by Grant Stinchfield earlier, but this coming out of Washington, the Washington Post, the union, the staffers revolt over the decision not to endorse a presidential candidate, and of course they are blaming owner Jeff Bezos. Again, coming from the Washington Post, the publisher and CEO William Lewis announced the paper would not be making a presidential endorsement this year, nor in any other future presidential election. We're returning to our roots, they're saying, of not endorsing presidential candidates.
Yeah.
Declared Lewis. Shortly after, of course, the Washington Post Guild released a scathing statement condemning the decision. According to the Guild, we are deeply concerned and we're clutching our pearls that the American news institution in the nation's capital would make a decision to no longer endorse a presidential candidate, especially a mere 11 days ahead of an immensely consequential election. The role of an editorial board is to do just this, to share opinions, Damon, on the news impacting our society and culture, and endorse candidates to help guide our readers to read the stuff that we tell them is the truth, even though it may not be. So I added that last part. But again, the freak out from the Washington Post as more and more people are kind of unhitching themselves from the Harris campaign.
All right, we'll come back, wrap it up for a Friday night right after this.
Do it live.
Any update in Iran? How about Constantinople? I went to high school with his sister. She did, yeah.
Oh, I guess you don't have to wait till noon. Guess what?
It's live now.
They dropped it?
Joe Rogan is out.
Oh, man.
2 hours, 58 minutes, and 49 seconds. Joe Rogan episode with Donald Trump is out.
85 million views.
24,000 views in 2 minutes.
Whoa. It's quick.
Throw this up for a second. Let's just hear the opening.
It could get copyright strike, and we don't want to get the episode. We don't want anybody to have any sort of way to get it down.
Sure.
But it was the episode of you when you're on The View. And I think it was 2015 or 2006, like when you were running for president.
Right.
And you got introduced as our friend Donald Trump.
That's right.
Whoopi Goldberg gives you a big hug and a kiss. Joy Behar gives you a big hug. Barbara Walters gives you a big hug. They all loved you. They were all talking about how you might be conservative in your financial positions, but you're very liberal socially. They were talking about you in such a favorable light. The audience was cheering. And then you actually started winning in the polls, and then the machine started working towards you.
Yeah.
But there's probably no one in history that I've ever seen that's been attacked the way you've been attacked, and the way they've done it so coordinated and systematically. When you see those same people in the past very favorable to you, like Oprah, when you were on Oprah's show, she was encouraging you to be
Last
president.
week I did one of her last shows, I think maybe Thursday or Friday. That was a big deal, being on Oprah's show, the last one. And I was like one of the last shows in that final week. And I said, boy, we've come a long way since that.
What was it like?
Well, the concept, it was really like two different lives. You know.
All right, there you go. There you go.
That's already
There's a little taste.
intriguing.
That's already good.
Wow.
I may stream the whole thing tonight. I don't think I can wait till tomorrow, knowing it's out already.
Yeah, it came out 5 minutes ago now, according to YouTube.
Big D might be live at 11 p.m. tonight, so just
45,000 views.
Well, it sounds like the blues one more time, which means I'm going to talk to you about somebody. Patriot Mobile. Americans are tired and frustrated by a stalling economy, inflation, endless wars, and the relentless assault on the values that made America great. Thankfully, there's companies like Patriot Mobile that still believe in America and believe in the Constitution. Patriot Mobile is a proud supporter of this show, and they're proud to partner with them. They're at RAV. They're on the front lines fighting for the First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, and supporting our military and first responder heroes. Support conservative causes and put America first with every call that you make, all while getting the same nationwide coverage as the major providers. Patriot Mobile has all three networks. That's why they can back their service with a coverage guarantee. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team will help you find the best plan for your needs. Keep your number, keep your phone, or you can upgrade. Just go to patriotmobile.com/RAV, or you can call 972-PATRIOT. Get a free month right now when you use offer code RAV today, R-A-V. Don't be fooled by other providers pretending to share your values. Join me in supporting the only one that actually lives by them. That's Patriot Mobile, patriotmobile.com/RAV, or call 972-PATRIOT for a free month. Man, that's got to be like a $300, $400, $500 value. Free month, at least if you have a family of four like I do. It's about what I spend a month. 972-PATRIOT to get a free month today from our friends at Patriot Mobile. All right, 12 minutes till the hour, live from Studio 6B. I don't know if there's anything going on in Michigan right now on the stage. All right, we're going to talk to our own Steve Gruber here in a second as we wait for President Trump. And if we just showed you a little bit, if you were with us in the commercial break, we showed you a little bit of a tease of why the president is so late getting to Michigan tonight. And that, of course, is he did 3 hours with Joe Rogan this afternoon. And the way I figure it, they must have, I don't know what time they started, but the president was late getting out of Austin because he did Rogan. 3 hours, it just dropped. It's available, I think, on all platforms. We watched a little bit of it on YouTube. And Joe Rogan starts the interview talking to President Trump about, well, what I was saying to Grant before. Go back in the day, this was a very popular man. He was very popular with the Hollywood types. He was very popular with all the TV hosts. He was very popular with Mika Brzezinski. By the way, if you haven't seen Mika Brzezinski's meltdown from yesterday morning, it's one of the great meltdowns, most incoherent meltdown rants I've ever heard in my life. You should watch it. It's on our socials. But Joe starts by saying, you used to be real popular with all these people. You go on The View, go on Oprah, and then you started to win in the polls. And it's been interesting to watch since then. So that's where he starts. We'll see where it goes from there. I'm going to watch all 3 hours of it. But let's go out to Michigan, where they're waiting for the president. We just saw Tudor Dixon on stage with Doug Burgum. Our own Steve Gruber's on the ground. Mr. Gruber, welcome on in. I'm assuming this crowd's going to wait no matter how long it takes. 3 hours with Joe Rogan has put the president on a little bit of a delay, but it seems like it's going to be worth it. And I would bet there's not a soul that's moving out of that place.
So here's my question, guys. Who is this Joe Rogan guy? I've heard all about him, but apparently he's pretty popular. 25 million followers and so forth, right? So which is pretty remarkable. And so Donald Trump ends up spending a bunch of time with Joe Rogan, who's going to get him all sorts of, followers, which is fine. And let me tell you something about the people here that are in Traverse City. These people are hardcore. It's cold here, but look at them. They're all still packed in here, guys. And so we're told that Donald Trump will be on the ground in about 5 minutes. He sent a live message from the plane, if you missed that earlier, right? And so he told the folks, hey, stick around. It's going to be a really special show. And he's on his way. That's what we got, guys.
So, Steve, while I have you, let's talk about what's going on in the world tonight. Biden is on the tarmac in Philly on his way to Delaware to lay at the beach or do something, vacation again. Kamala's with Beyonce.
Control's got to get out of my...
I don't think Steve can hear me, so that's all right. We'll let Steve go. He's on the ground there waiting.
I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me.
Well,
okay, I got you. All right, so Steve,
I can hear you, so let's talk about it.
Kamala Harris is in Houston partying with Beyonce, smoking dope with Willie Nelson there on stage. And the world's falling apart. Israel tonight, of course, attacking Iran. Do you think this effectuates 10 days out from the election? Who do you think it helps? Who do you think it doesn't help? How do you think this factors in being 10, 11 days out here? What's going on tonight across in the Middle East?
Well, let's start with the first thing. Willie Nelson's alive? Really? I didn't know that. So that's thing one. And Willie Nelson, alive or dead, still sounds better than Bruce Springsteen. So that's another takeaway. We can go ahead and file that away. Now, Bruce Springsteen sounds worse than my truck hitting a deer. All right, that was embarrassing. Anyhow, but let me tell you about what's happening in the world tonight. Donald Trump took us to no wars in 4 years, right? Something that I don't think that any president in my lifetime has been able to accomplish. Peace for 4 years. He put together the Abraham Accords. He had peace in the Middle East. He had deals working with Saudi Arabia and Israel. He brought in partners from the Arab world and the Arab street to sit down with Israel, something that had been talked about by president after president. He was able to do it. He made NATO pay what they are supposed to pay, their fair share, if they will. He made people pony up and pay the bill instead of the American taxpayer when it comes to defending their own countries. I think Donald Trump will absolutely talk about the Middle East. He will talk about what's happening in the Middle East and why it should never have happened. He'll talk about Ukraine and why it should never have happened. We're waiting for Donald Trump to get here. It's going to be a big night for the folks that stuck it out. And there's a huge crowd here still, guys. They're in for a special treat tonight. Donald Trump is going to be in rare form, I think he's all fired up from the Rogan interview. He's here with a bunch of people that are, let's be honest, hardcore supporters. It's not warm here, fellas. And so the people that stuck around, they're fire-breathing supporters of Donald Trump.
Yeah. Steve, if you can hear me, let me ask you about the blue wall as we're heading in 11 days out here. Obviously, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. You're seeing reports of saying, they think there's maybe cracks in the blue wall. Seems to me there could be more like craters in the blue wall. You know the area better than anybody else. 11 days out. Do you think she has the ability to hold any of the three right now?
I think it's going to be an uphill climb for Kamala Harris to hang on to any of those three states, and I'll tell you why. As I was talking to the folks here earlier, several hours ago now, here in line waiting for this event in Traverse City, I asked this question several times. Have you already voted? I'd say it was about 75% said they had already voted. And I kept asking them, have you ever voted early before? One out of all the people I talked to had ever voted early before. This is a new phenomenon for Republicans. And you got to put this into historical context, guys. Back to Florida, the year 2000. After Al Gore and George W. Bush went head-to-head there and George W. Bush came out on top, the Republicans realized that Florida maybe wasn't on the up and up when it came to voting. And they went to work. And what's happened? Florida is now a red state. In Ohio, when they realized that maybe the Democrat Party wasn't on the up and up, they went to work in Ohio. Ohio's a red state. Iowa's a red state. North Carolina's pretty close to being a red state. And you do that by having election integrity. And I'm seeing that happen here as well. I'm seeing people vote early. And what I'm getting at is they watch what the Democrats do. They see whatever the game is. And when Republicans dial into that and say, look, we can compete on that field. Don't like the rules. Don't like the way it's set up right now, but if we play by those rules, we can win. And I'm seeing that in Michigan with the early voting, but you're seeing it in Nevada, Pennsylvania, and elsewhere as well. Republicans are getting out of the polls in ways that they have historically not done.
And, Steve, what you're hearing now from left-wing media as they try to deal with the reality that you just laid out is now they're saying they try to twist it and say, well, the Republicans are putting a lot into this early voting, and now on Election Day, maybe the left ends up showing up and the Democrats will do better on because, of course, historically, the Republicans have always done better on Election Day. Do you buy at all that Republicans will still not dominate Election Day? I don't buy it whatsoever. I still think we show up and have big Election Day turnout as well.
I agree with you on that because I talked to a number of people I know that are still going to vote on Election Day. It's what they do. It's what they have always done. So they're traditionalists, I guess. But you couple that with so if you have Republicans staying even slightly behind Democrats, but more on par than they've been historically, it puts them in a better position. In Michigan, for example, you can't start Election Day down 1.5 million votes and expect to come back on Election Day because something happens. the car breaks down, the kid gets sick, whatever happens, people don't vote. So the Republicans are now voting early. And again, you're seeing the numbers out of Nevada, Pennsylvania, Michigan. They're voting early in bigger numbers than ever. And so then you couple that with a big surge on Election Day. If the election were today, I believe that Donald Trump will win Michigan by about a point and a half. That's going to be, I mean, it's not a big cushion. We're going to be talking about 80 to 120,000 votes right now. In Pennsylvania, a similar margin. Wisconsin's the wild card to me. I mean, you look at the last election, Donald Trump outperformed the polls in Wisconsin by 6.5 points. And you go back to 2016, he outperformed the polls that year pretty significantly as well. Wisconsin, and you talk to pollsters, you know, Rich Barris or Scott Mitchell or the people that I talk to, Wisconsin is just notoriously hard to poll. And I can't tell you why it's harder than Michigan or Pennsylvania, but the people that do that for a living and survey people and try to figure out what's the pulse of whatever the race might be, Wisconsin just seems to be a lot harder.
You know, Steve, one more question and I'll let you go. We've been having some fun with it jokingly, but I'm going to ask you a serious question. Why is it that you think President Trump is spending time in New York? Do you think that they internally think that New York is in play, like some people like to say, or what is the reasoning 10 days, 9 days out by the time he ends up at MSG that he's spending time in New York? Do you have a personal opinion on that?
Look, if you're on a world tour, who doesn't want to play Madison Square Garden?
That's right.
I mean, come on, boys. You get the T-shirts, you get the merch, you get the whole shooting match. I mean, come on. It's Madison Square Garden. I mean, it's a crown jewel. And maybe that's why he's doing it. Just say, look, I can fill this place. What did he sell out? 2 hours? 20,000 plus seats, something like that. It feels good. And let's be honest, it looks good. I'm going there. And so's media from all over the world. They're going there. He's bringing them in. He's doing what Donald Trump does better than anybody else. He's closing the deal. And he's going to do it at Madison Square Garden on Sunday. And do you think Kamala Harris could sell out Madison Square Garden? No. He's doing it. Why? Because he can. That's why.
All right, there you go. The great Steve Gruber live on the ground in Michigan, waiting for President Trump to arrive. President Trump, of course, obviously with Joe Rogan. So he's a little delayed. Steve, great stuff. We'll get back to you if we can as we wait for the president to arrive on the ground.
Thank you.
I mean, Delgado, that's as good a summation of why go to New York as I've heard. Grant said similar things because he can.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not because New York's in play.
But why can he do that? Because New York is in play. Of course,
New York is not in play.
If this were maybe 2016, maybe he can't do that. But now New York is in play, and he can do that.
Oh, okay.
And that's what Steve said. That's what I just heard it. You just heard it too. So there you have it.
All right.
New York is in play.
Well, he also said President Trump should be on the ground there in 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so. So we'll keep an eye out for the president to hit the stage there in Michigan. And I would suspect he'll try to make this a special night for everybody who's been hanging there now for probably the better part of 6-7 hours already.
Yeah.
Especially because he's running, 3 hours late?
3 hours late.
Oof.
Oof. 3 hours of Rogan, 3 hours late.
So, yeah.
But notice, and as he pointed out as well, Steve pointed out as well, nobody's leaving. Nobody's moving. They're there. These people, talk about preaching to the converted. They're there. They know who they're voting for. And that's a testament to them that even though, hey, I've already made my decision, I'm good, I don't need to be sold, they still go. And they still put in hours and hours waiting just to get a glimpse. Tells you about the power that this guy has. It's kind of amazing, really.
All right, we've hit the 10 o'clock hour here as we wait for President Trump to take the ground in Michigan.
Hour 3.
I think we were doing news, Delgado. You want to do some of your clips that we haven't gotten to while we're waiting for the president?
Sure. Why don't we get to the disaster that was the Kamala Harris town hall? I got just about 3 of them we can go through real quick. Here is cut number 2. Here's Kamala being asked about any mistakes that she's made. Check it out for yourself. These things you can't even make up this much stupid. Cut number 2.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life, or in your life in the last 4 years that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes.
Listen to this.
And they range from, if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes.
And she hasn't.
Too. In my role as vice
No.
president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
Fact checker.
That's an interesting way to spin it.
Interesting way is right.
One of my mistakes is that I'm overly educated in the. I go too far in trying to answer these questions. Sunshine, love that.
And I think too much about things. And
if you've ever parented a kid, well, you haven't. So why are you using that?
Yeah, that's the craziest. That's the craziest thing she said. Among one of the craziest things that she parented a child. She's never parented a child. She's never had a child. Even when she got married, his kids were grown.
Right.
So she it's not like she's changing diapers or putting kids on school buses or trying to help them with homework or going to PTA meetings. She's never done it. She does not have that experience. But if you've done it, then what the hell does that mean?
If you've ever parented a child,
right? That's as good as her answer when she was asked, have you been to the border? Well, I haven't been to Europe. Well, yeah, but what does that have to do with? What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Yeah,
that's true.
That's as dumb gets. Let's continue the dumb fest with this is cut number 3, where she's now asked about weaknesses, and you got to give her credit. She's consistent with her stupid. Check this out.
What weaknesses do you bring to the table, and how do you plan to overcome them while you're in office?
I love this one.
That's a great question, Joe.
And I don't want to answer
I am
it.
certainly not perfect. So let's start there. Perhaps a weakness, I think that my decision-making process, but I actually think it's the strength, is I really do value. My team will tell you I am constantly saying, let's kick the tire on that. Let's kick the tire. So I may not be quick to have the answer as soon as you ask it about a specific policy issue sometimes, because I'm going to want to research it. I'm going to want to study it. I'm kind of a nerd sometimes, I confess.
Yeah.
She's a
nerd. That clip's overly edited for no reason. It doesn't need to be. If you just played her straight answer, it's worse, actually.
Yeah.
Than that. That guy tried to make it, whoever edited that tried to make it sound, I don't know if they thought they were going to make her sound worse. You didn't need to touch that clip.
I think they were trying to condense it for time because it was a long clip.
I mean, her, as David Axelrod said, she took us to word salad city on that answer. You didn't need to edit anything.
Yeah.
Her weakness, again, she tries to pull that. I'm going to take the weakness and make it a strength. Watch this. It's a weakness of mine, but I actually think it's a strength. I spend way too much time getting other people's opinions,
So she doesn't have any weaknesses. She hasn't made any mistakes so far that we've learned, and she has no weaknesses. Let's go to cut number 4 about, and this is when Anderson asked her about any of the things she hasn't done. This is cut number 4. Check this out.
I bring a whole set of different experiences to this job and the way I think about it than Joe Biden.
Some voters, though, might ask, you've been in the White House for 4 years. You were vice president, not the president. But why wasn't any of that done in the last 4 years?
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done. And I'm not going to shy away from saying, hey, these are still problems that we need to fix.
Yeah, there she goes. Things that need to be done. She used that word 4 times in one sentence.
I was covering this morning, and somebody was talking about a poll, and they asked people who were inclined to vote for her, and they said something about fresh ideas that she would bring. Can anybody name a fresh idea that she has articulated in this 50 days that she's been the nominee?
Well,
what fresh idea has she brought to the table? The only fresh idea she has is no tax on tips. Where'd she get that? What fresh ideas has she articulated to anybody in these 50 days or whatever it's been.
Well,
her whole problem she has not been able to put an inch of daylight between her and Joe Biden. An inch. Fresh ideas. She has zero fresh ideas. She owes fresh ideas. She has less than zero. There's not one unless the fresh idea is taxing unrealized capital gains, raising your taxes through the roof like Bernie Sanders style communist levels.
Censorship is a good one. That's a fresh idea.
It's not fresh to the Democrat Party. It's certainly not fresh to them.
But she wants to make it. She wants to be able to lord over all of the internet platforms. That's what she wants. Not just a separate rule for Facebook. She wants it across the board. So that's a fresh idea. Plus, Damon, haven't you heard of the what do you call it? The opportunity economy.
Oh, the opportunity economy.
Yeah, that's a fresh idea.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. Hey, you want to see the media's reaction? Because of course the left-wing deep state media loves Kamala Harris. They can't cover for her enough. Here is some of their reactions right after this town hall. Cut number 5. Here is your buddy David Axelrod, the Axeman, talking about Kamala.
She doesn't want to answer a question. Her habit is to kind of go to word salad city, and she did that on a couple of answers. One was on Israel. Anderson asked a direct question, would you be stronger on Israel than Trump? And there was a 7-minute answer, but none of it related to the question he was asking.
Yeah, see, even Groucho Marx knows she's
what is she?
useless.
I mean, although after she said, I think if I had to point to one line in this town hall that literally made me laugh out loud, she said to Anderson Cooper, I swear to God, she said word for word, I will never let this country be without a secure border.
Yes, I remember that.
And I swear to God, I thought I said I didn't drink tonight. My ears are working. I'm totally fine. I rewound it and listened to it again. I would never let the country have an unsecure border. And she said we need to have a pathway to citizenship, but it needs to be a legal one, she said. And I'm thinking to myself, did I just get dropped on another planet? What? So here's Anderson Cooper. Well, we'll get to your media reaction in one second. Let's get to the host's reaction. This is Anderson Cooper this morning talking about going on social media.
This country where, you know what, I got so many, I don't look at comments about myself, but I was looking up some comments about my Grief podcast, and I came across this whole inundation from people who are Harris supporters saying to me online today, like, how dare you, what a betrayal that you would ask her these questions.
No,
and I'm like, you misunderstand what my job is. I'm not on MSNBC, and no disrespect, what they do is, they're very talented. But I don't watch it. I'm not interested in watching what these overpaid blow-dried anchors think, and I include myself in that overpaid blow-dried, although I don't blow-dry. I am overpaid. But I'm not interested in the anchor's opinion. I'm interested in facts and letting the viewers make up their own mind. So anyway, I'm sorry this devolved into something else, but this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he doesn't like getting beaten up from the left because they think he brutalized her.
Yeah. See
by asking basic questions, government 101 questions, and soft follow-ups.
See what happens?
How dare you?
As soon as you step out of line, they eat their own.
Yep.
They don't care.
Nope.
How dare you do that to her?
Dare you think for yourself? Who told you to ask follow-up
challenge
questions? You want to see some more media reaction? Because this was great. More from CNN. Here's Scott Jennings. This is cut number 6 on, again, just watching the left-wing media. They just can't stop hating on Kamala. It's amazing. Watch this.
She doesn't have to be flawless, but she has to give you something. I mean, she's like a true double threat. You know, she's terrible on her feet when she gets unexpected questions, and simultaneously, she can't even answer the expected questions. It's nothing. You'd think she'd be prepared to do this by now. You know, what's a mistake you've made? Nothing. What's a weakness you have? Nothing. What's the first law you want to pass? Nothing. What's a policy difference between you and Joe Biden? Nothing. Over and over and over. Empty, empty, empty. If she were an animal, she'd be a duck-billed platitude.
But look,
it's a
it's
total
unfair.
salad.
Duck-billed platitude.
I'd love to know what network he's going to be at next year, because they won't be there.
Yeah.
He's too good to be there.
Yeah, he is.
He's pretty good.
I mean, there should be some award he should get for a daily doing that on a daily basis.
And he does it in a room or a table surrounded by 5 or 6 others who are diametrically opposed to him.
Oh, that's what I mean. Did you see Kevin O'Leary today on there?
Oh my goodness, that was the greatest 2.5 minutes.
I love him.
And what's amazing is that as soon as you confront a liberal with a fact, they want to shut you down. You're not allowed to talk. You can't say that. It's an amazing, but Donald Trump's an existential threat. He's a threat to democracy. He wants to take over the country. He wants to be a dictator. Say the dictators. The dictators. That's how they act. Here's the last piece. Cut number 7. Here's Jake Tapper and Dana Bash taking Kamala Harris to town as well. Check this out.
Focused a lot more on Donald Trump, I think it's fair to say, than she did on many specifics in terms of what she would do.
If her goal was to close the deal, they're not sure she did that.
You think?
Yeah, just a little bit. Definitely didn't close the deal.
By the way, close the deal? She's barely in the deal. What do you mean close the deal? Close the deal?
Well, yeah, you got that's and they talk about Trump. What do you call it? I think it was Steve Gruber said that's what he's going to do at Madison Square Garden.
Well, yeah,
Garden
Trump
on Sunday.
could close the deal
because he's the deal.
Yeah, he's clearly the front runner. He's clearly got all the momentum. She's hanging on for dear life. She's not closing any deal. She's going to stumble, fumble, maybe fall and twist and turn across the finish line if she can even make it there. She's not going to close the deal strong. She's going to barely make it there. You want to see someone who's barely going to make it, period?
Sure.
This is
Joe
yesterday.
Biden?
This is yesterday morning on MSLSD.
Oh, is this
and I emphasized
Mika?
the LSD part.
Oh my goodness.
Listen to this.
His cozying up to dictators, his obsession with Hitler that has now come out, what he has said about our veterans, and what he wants to do with the military against his political adversaries, it's all huge news. This is the future that we're looking at in the next Trump term, if there is one. But this is what voters know right now, that he is killing us. I'm talking about us women. He's killing us. He is putting us at risk. He is making us afraid to have babies. He is putting our reproductive health at risk, and some women have died already because of this. So we can see right now what's coming. These headlines, and very good reporting, by the way, that shouldn't be questioned by idiots about what Trump has said about Hitler. That's incredibly important to know. But I do understand that people who are busy and that are people who are just tapping in may not be able to comprehend, because we've been free. We've been comfortable. We cannot comprehend that. And I understand that. I validate that it is hard to go from here to there. It is where we're going. I hope we don't find out the hard way. But what's happening with women right now is real, and it is playing out across America.
Wow.
Anybody have any idea what the hell she's talking about?
No, I
mean, just no idea.
She lost me at hello.
I mean, that is deranged to a level that's hard to even describe. He's killing us, she says, one.
Women.
Then he says he's threatening. Well, if you're already dead, he's not threatening you. He's killing you, but then he's threatening you.
He's killing you till you're dead.
Then she says he's preventing us from having babies.
Yes.
This is the party that wants abortion on demand. She's worried about all of a sudden now he's preventing us from having babies, she says.
It's not the abortion trailer they have parked outside their studio. No. It's Donald Trump. Somehow it's Donald Trump is an amazingly powerful, evil villain superhero type of character. He's able to do all these things while not doing them. It's crazy.
Let's go.
No, actually, she's crazy.
Let's go through the list of things she says here one more time in this absolutely deranged, lunatic rant of hers.
That he is killing us.
He's killing us. He's killing us. He's literally killing us, she says.
Talking about us women, he's killing us.
He's killing us. What does that mean? Anybody know? No.
He is putting us at risk.
He's putting you at risk.
He already killed you.
Death.
Yeah, exactly.
I say death pretty much takes risk off the table.
Yeah, if you're at risk, what are you at risk of coming back to life as a zombie? What?
Exactly.
He is making us afraid to have babies.
He's making us afraid to have babies. Now, how exactly is he doing that? How is he doing that exactly?
I don't know, because they like to kill
knows.
babies.
Nobody knows. All right, let's go to the stage.
Oof, please.
In Michigan, I believe President Trump's intro video is on, which means the man himself cannot be far away. Let's go live out to Michigan now for President Trump.
Coming into our country has gone to hell. So I made a decision to run. We're going to make America great again, greater than ever before. I will fight for you with every breath, and I will never let you down. I'm gonna fight like a G, all those seas, and if I die, I'm gonna die free.
President Trump is literally putting his life on the line, and he's willing to risk it all because he loves this country.
He is strong, he is fearless, and he is what this country needs right now.
Our cities will be safe, our streets will be clean, and our border will be secure.
We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future.
The left told me to hate Trump. When you cut through the lies, you realize the truth. American families were better when Donald Trump was president. We were safer, wealthier, and stronger.
So if you love this country, if you want to stand up and fight for the future of our nation, you must re-elect Donald J. Trump.
Houston, Texas.